Hello and welcome to the Chef in the Box. Today's menu is lobster ravioli with charred leeks, beetroot salsa and lobster emulsion. And for the vegetarian option, you have a spinach and parmesan ravioli with a beetroot salsa and a lemon emulsion. So to start off, you will require to get a pan of water with a slotted spoon or a holy spoon if you can. This is going to help you to get the ravs out. And turn that and bring it to the boil. Put an oven on at 200 degrees, and if you get yourself a tray like you would do, basically this is for the chips. Now if you have a fryer, you can use the fryer and you don't need to do this step, but obviously I'm going to take that the proportion of people won't have a fryer, and so we're going to do the chips today like we would roast potatoes. So oven tray with about 1/4 centimetre to 1/2 centimetre of oil in the tray, and place that into the oven now, and that's going to get hot, ready for later on. We're also going to put the loaf of Woodspeen bread into the oven, and that again can warm up whilst we are starting the starter. Okay, so pan of water needs to come to the boil. So whilst the pan of water is coming to the boil, you're going to place your charred leeks in the vac pack bag into the pan of water, and you'll also have a tub of your raviolis. Again, only when the pan of water's come to the boil. When it comes to the boil, we will turn it off, okay? We don't want it to be rapid boiling. These ravs are already done, cooked. The pasta's just been slightly blanched, so it's just a case of we're looking to reheat them. So pan of water's come to the boil, turn it off, and now place your raviolis into the pan of water. Keep the plastic tub, that is reusable, just needs to be washed, and all of these little tubs here are recyclable and can go into the compost, okay, once you've used. Obviously this one, just wash and you can reuse it at home for storage in your fridge. Set yourself a timer for 5 minutes, and that's going to be long enough then just to warm the raviolis through. And then, like I say, have a tray ready with a cloth on, and you can now take off the lids for the rest of the mise en place. So obviously the pink is going to be your lobster emulsion, and you've got the lemon emulsion above. Again, lids, this will all go into the compost. And then now grab yourself your plates, because we can get all of this now. Whilst the ravs are warming, we can start to present and get it ready. So I'm going to present one of each. So we're going to have one plate for the vegetarian and one plate for the lobster rav. So with the emulsions first, spoonful down into the middle of the plate, and then just with the back of your spoon, try and make a circular, doesn't have to be perfect, and quite wide. So go out to as close as you can to the, okay, and then we're going to do the same for the lemon emulsion. So this is the vegetarian one. Clean your spoons, because we're going to need them now to quenelle the beetroot salsa. So with the beetroot salsa, get yourself your 2 spoons, ideally the same size and shape, and just go down the spoon and force the spoon around the shape of the spoon, and then you're going to place the quenelle top of the plate, 12 o'clock. Again, you don't want to put too much on this spoon. The more you have on the spoon, the harder it is. So you're looking at about 1/2 spoonful to be shaping. And we're going to repeat this, and we're going to do a slightly smaller one, and then put that towards the bottom of the plate at 6 o'clock. Okay, with the pea shoots, place them onto a tray, open them up, and then now just around the outside, even the tendrils at the top. And again, using the outside circular from the emulsion for your guider to just place the pea shoots. Keep a couple just to place on top for the presentation. And there we have it. So we've got 1 minute left. We're just going to wait for that 1 minute, and the raviolis will be the last things that are going to come out of the pan. We'll get the leeks out first onto the plate, and then the lobster ravs will be the remainder. So whilst we're waiting now, we can get the bread out of the oven. That's had 4 or 5 minutes. It just needs that to warm up. Place that onto your board. Careful, it will be warm. With the box, you also get the homemade hummus and butter. And then maybe on a board, just place the bread pre-sliced, ready to take to the room. And then we've got 10 seconds left. So I'm going to start now to get the leek out of the pan. Cut the bag with some scissors. Slide it out. There we go, stop the timer. Slide out these bags into the bin, and then with the leek through the middle, and then now finally the ravs. With the holy spoon, lift them up, slightly tilt them so you get the water at the top, place them down, and obviously maybe a good little tip as well, if you have the vegetarian options, obviously remember where they are, or have 2 smaller pans of water. A little bit of salt on top, and then with the spoon, place the raviolis between about 4 o'clock and 10 o'clock. on the plate, and then the last couple just dotted over. So there you have it, you have your starters. Lobster ravioli, beetroot salsa, charred leeks, and a lobster emulsion. And a vegetarian option, spinach and parmesan. Now, before you go in to enjoy the starter, you're gonna need to do two things. One is, you'll have your chips in the container ready. You want to undo the lid. Again, compostable, this tub, so it can go into the compost or recycling. Open the tray up, where the oil will be starting to get hot. Careful again, please use a cloth. And then gently place in, there we go, chips. So they're not stuck, they need to be flat, not on top of each other, but flat on the tray. You can hear them nice spit in, and then back into the oven. These will need 15 minutes on the timer. Set that, and that's ready. So if you are still enjoying your starter, at least the timer will go off and tell you that the chips will need to be looked at and turned. Enjoy your starter. So I hope you enjoyed your starter. There's around about 40 seconds left on the timer to go off. So in the box, you'll see that you've got steak cooked to the cooking that you've asked for already. Tomato chutney, bearnaise, some watercress to garnish, and then the onion fritter. Your chips are already in the oven. That's what the timer's there for. And then if you have the vegetarian option, you've got the truffle peas and the tart. What you can do now, get the truffled peas, place on top, not all the way to the edge. You'll see it's like a little ring and a lip inside. So, and give it a good pile. There's your timer. Go off, and you can leave it for 30 seconds, no problems, while you finish the tart. Place some pickled shallots on top, and then sprinkle some parmesan. Now the tart's ready. So go into the oven with your cloth, remove your tray of chips, and then now with each one, just turn them over like you would do a roast potato. So they're now the other way in the oil. Careful again, they are super duper hot. Obviously I have asbestos hands if needs be. Tongs, use a spoon, use the fork, anything, just please be careful of the hot oil. You can see where they've been touching the tray, they've got a bit more colour. That's why we're going to turn them over, and then they're going to go back in the oven. Don't need to set a timer, because in a minute we're going to be joining in the steaks. So you have a tray ready with some foil on top. Now we're going to have a hot pan. Turn it on to maximum heat number 9. Place some oil, a little bit in the bottom of the pan, because this is going to help with the colour, and obviously if you get more colour you can get more flavour. Take the steak or steaks, depending if you have two, place it down into the pan. Once you see it just starting to smoke, place it, move it around a little bit so it's covered in oil, and then leave it. And then with the spoon, just push down so we get as much surface area of the steak down on the pan. And you're going to turn it down to a medium heat. So I was on number 9 if you've got induction, and I'm moving it down to number 7 now. Every now and then, just tilt the pan, and you want to set yourself a timer for 1 minute. We're going to do 1 minute to colour on each side of the steak. Once we've got the colour on both sides of the steaks, we'll then sit them into the foil tray. Obviously I've got 1 today, but you may have 2, 3 or 4, and then so you're just going to repeat the process until they're all coloured, and then these will go into the oven at 200, which is already set, where the chips are in, and they're going to go in for 6 minutes. Okay, so again, 30 seconds left on a medium heat, and every now and then just keep pushing, but don't move the pan, don't move the steak. Keep the steak where it is, because that will again keep the heat in the pan to get you more colour. 5 seconds left, perfect. So even if it's 5 left, pick the steak up, move it around again like you did last time. So you've got the oil, push down the steak, and you can see nice golden colour all round. So back down, hit the timer again for a minute, because we're going to do a minute on this side as well. And like I say, the steak is already cooked to however you've asked us to cook it for you. This is just basically to get some good colour, which is flavour, and just basically reheat through. Again, every now and then, just once, move the oil around to the bottom of the pan. It will get a bit spitty, I do apologise for the stove. Remove the pan of water out of your way. The tray with the foil ready, so then you can just keep doing and keep putting your steaks. Again, I'm doing 1 so I can show you how to present the steak and also the vegetarian option. Again, just a little movement, 5 seconds left, and then just again move it around the oil, pan, place onto your tray. Now the reason for the foil is to stop it from having the direct heat on there, and that will stop it from getting a grey line. A little bit of salt on top. Your onion fritters now you can place in on the same tray as well. Remove the pan off the heat once you finish doing all of your steaks. Turn the pan off. Just cool it down under the sink, cold water, and then tray now into the oven along with the tarts if you have the vegetarian option, and you're going to set the timer for 6 minutes. Have a little quick wipe down, because obviously with all that oil spitting from the fat, to clean your stove. spoon ready, and then we're gonna have to wait 5 minutes. But while you're waiting, get your plates if needs be ready. Okay, so we've got 30 seconds left. So while we're waiting for that to come down, you can remove the lid now from your tubs. And again, please remember, just give me a little wash any food, but then these can go into the recycling or even compost. They are compostable as well. Okay. Again, make sure you've got a tray with a little bit of a cloth, because you're going to want to put the chips out onto them just to drain them a little bit as well. Okay. So there you go. Timer's off, and then into your oven. Just grab your chips out and your steak. Leave the vegetarian tart in there. It won't harm just for another minute while we're dressing. So with the chips now, again, please, they're hot. With a spoon or even a fish slice underneath and onto your tray. A little bit of fine salt just to season them up. And then steaks won't need to rest. The resting can be done while you're dressing. So just offset the steak in the middle. With a spoon, put the tomato salsa on top. And again, you can present however you wish. If you want to have it all separate, put a little dollop of the tomato salsa to the sides. And then with another spoon, you can get your bearnaise. And this, for me, I would have on the side, little spoon. Then onion fritter on top, a little bit of watercress just on the steak. And then with the chips, what they're called Jenga chips, you'll stack them up like that. And then now you can just get the tart out of the oven. If you've put it on the shelf, use a fish slice to scrape it out. Or if it's on a tray, obviously bring it out of the tray. Again, with the tart just slightly offset, the tomato salsa. Now with this one, I would put it on top, because obviously this is going to go nice all together. And the same with the bearnaise, just on top. Final bit of watercress. And then again, the chips. Use the tart for them to support. And there you have it. Steak and chips with bearnaise, tomato chutney, onion fritter, and the vegetarian pea and truffle tart with a pickled shallot, parmesan, tomato chutney, bearnaise sauce, triple cooked chips. So I hope you enjoyed your main course and you've left yourself room for desserts. So in the box, obviously you're going to find the dessert ingredients left, along with some jellies and chocolates for your petit fours for later. So in the box you have plastic tub, again reusable, if you can wash it out and reuse it in your fridges. You've got the ginger cakes, they're nice and moist and soft. You're going to place them onto a tray and then into the oven that's at 200 degrees. Just warm them up. This is all we're after. So we're literally looking 4 minutes, timer on. Again, wash the tub and reuse. Then in this tub here, there's going to be 2 ingredients, which is the vanilla yogurt. So remove the lid, you have the vanilla yogurt, and underneath you have the brandy snaps. And in this one again, you have 2 ingredients. Just remove the lid, you have the rhubarb jam and some poached rhubarb. And then obviously the last bag, in the piping bag, you've got the rhubarb full. So with the end of it, just twist to seal it off, and then a little precision cut just to open up the end of the bag and place that back on the tray. So we're now ready to dress. Grab plates that you wish to put your dessert on. We're ready to go. So I just got to wait now for the ginger cake. 3 minutes left on the timer, and then we can then start to dress. Okay, timer's gone off. Reset the timer. Remove, you start to smell the ginger. Remove the cakes out of the oven on the tray. Again with a cloth, get yourself a little step pat knife ready, and then they can just sit there while we now dress the plate. So with the rhubarb full, just in the middle of the plate, but quite high, just let it naturally drop down. You're probably going to have extra in the bag, so you're not going to need all of it, but just enough like that. Again, keep that, put that back in the fridge. Then the rhubarb jam on top. Again, just let that naturally fall down, form a bit more of a ripple effect. Spoon, or tip it out onto the tray of a cloth. Got the poached rhubarb pieces, and then now place and push down in the cake so it pushes the cream, you can see, outwards. It almost forms a nest. So again, push it down, and then with the rhubarb pieces, place them around the outside, and then a couple of brandy snaps using the cream and the rhubarb, and then the yogurt vanilla dressing. Just spoon around the outside, and again there might be a little bit left over this if there is. Put it in the fridge, and there you have warm ginger cake with rhubarb full brandy snap vanilla yogurt.